we are going to be talking about temperature and kind of how to read degrees on a thermometer, and also how to tell the difference between things that are two different degrees. So you can tell we have two pots on a stove right now, and we have a thermometer that we are going to take the temperature of both of these and then find their differences. So here's our thermometer.
Before we can read the temperature of each of the pots of water, we have to know how to correctly interpret a thermometer. So looking at this thermometer, we can see that by the red numbers, because we're using degrees Fahrenheit, or if you wanted Celsius, they're on this side, but we're using Fahrenheit today. They're going to intervals of 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, etc. And then, since it's not likely that your temperature is going to land directly on one of these, you can look at this line for more guidance, and since this is halfway between 100 and 50, this would be 125. And then also, you can use these, I'm not sure if you can see them, but there's tiny little lines in here, there's 4 of them, and because there are 4, we know that it's going by 5s. So 100, 105, 110, 115, 120, and then this would be 125, and then we keep going up. So now that we know how to read a thermometer, we are going to put it into one of the pots of water and read it. Okay, so, oh my god, it's okay. This is safety. We have our tongs right here. We're just going to pull it right out. Okay, then we're going to use a hot pad right here. Okay, and I'm just going to hold it in here, and now we're going to read it for real this time. Okay, so I'm looking at the top of the red line, and it's looking like it's right about, it's higher than 150, but lower than 200. It's past 175, so now I'm going to be looking at those little tick marks, and I can see that it's about 180, 185 it looks like. So let me show that to you on our piece of paper. And I'm not going to even try that. So here it's going up, 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 past 150, past 175, past 180, and then one more tick mark would be 185. That's 185 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so now we're going to go over here and take the temperature of this second pot of water. As you can kind of tell, we're thinking this one's going to be a little hotter, just judging off all the bubbles and more smoke and stuff. So here we go with this one, and again we have to make sure we wait long enough so we can get an accurate reading, just until the red line stops, which could take a while, but you just have to be patient with things like this. So we're going to wait for this one, and since we took it out of the other water, we should know that it's going to be higher than 185, so that's kind of a good benchmark to use, so we know we have to wait till it at least hits there. And again, this one's probably going to be hard to see with all the smoke and condensation and stuff, so.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's wipe some of this away. You can see I'm looking for my red line. It's looking like, okay, it's past 200. It looks like it's 2 marks past 200, so 205 and then about 210. Oh, and it looks like it's 1 more, so that's about 215. And I'll show you on the piece of paper so you can see that a little better. We don't want another accident, so we're going to safely remove this and just put it to the side.
Okay, and since we couldn't really see that one very well, we're going to again show it to you on this paper. So she's going to draw on our paper thermometer up to, we know, at least 150, and then the next big tick mark, you know, is 175, and that's 200, and we said it was 215, so since we established that the little tick marks are 5, then we go 3 of them, so it's 200, 205, 210, and 250.
Okay, now that we have taken both our measures of temperature, our first was 185 degrees, and then our second was 215 degrees Fahrenheit, we can now use subtraction to determine the difference between the two. And we know when we're doing subtraction that we always start with the biggest number because you can't take away more than you have. So we're going to start with our second measure was 215 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to write this down, 215. And then our second was 185. Okay, and now we're just going to do a regular subtraction problem. 5 minus 5 is 0. 1 take away 8, well, we can't do that, so we're going to have to borrow. This 1 is going to become an 11. Since we borrowed from the hundredths column, we're going to have to make that to a 1. Now we can proceed with the problem. 11 minus 8 is 3, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So now we have that 215 degrees minus 185 degrees is 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is the difference between the two measures that we measured.
Okay, so hopefully y'all have learned how to take the readings or reading of a thermometer and you're able to read the intervals. Not all thermometers are the same, so be sure next time you're using one to look at it carefully and make sure you're using Fahrenheit or Celsius. And we also learned how to find the difference between the two. So like we said, it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit was the difference between our two pots of water.